Well, thank you everybody for being here for this long, wonderful movie in this warm space. Our plan here is to have a brief conversation here in the room, a brief discussion, and then to have opportunities, and the main point of the discussion is for you to have an opportunity to see the range of things that are happening right now in the Upper Valley related to settlement of refugees and asylum seekers, the range of ways to be involved, and for you to be introduced to some of the folks who are doing that work to make some connections. So we're not going to spend a lot of time talking. We're going to spend a little bit of time introducing you to folks so that you can have conversations later. We'll entertain a few questions to help advance the conversation. And that is the plan. If folks would like to take I understand after a long time it may be useful to go take a quick break. You should feel free to do that if you want to come back for about what I'm guessing is going to be a 15-minute sort of meet and connect with one another. If you want to take a quick break, that's a fine thing to do. If you want to go get a drink and bring it back here, that would be a fine thing to do. I didn't introduce myself. My name's Martha Tecca. I'm one of the core team members with SHARE, and I got involved in the refugee welcoming effort in the fall of 2021, helping to co-found the Upper Valley Neighborhood Support Team in partnership with Accentria Care Alliance, which is one of the New Hampshire settlement agencies. And this was when we were welcoming refugees to the area. And since that time here in the Upper Valley, Bill talked about wanting to make sure we could get a structure in place. We certainly don't have a structure, anything like you just saw in the film. But just in the last 3 years, we've been working with about 50 individuals that are refugees and asylum seekers, with over 200 or 250 volunteers involved in some way. So one of the reasons we need a structure. And is Kevin Geiger back? Here he is. Okay. We wanted to just start introducing Kevin Geiger, and I'll let you introduce yourself, Kevin.
Great. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I don't know if I want to stand under the blue light or not, but I can't see any of you, but you can all see me, I guess. So I'm Kevin Geiger. I'm the Director of Planning for your Regional Planning Commission that exists right here. That's the Two Rivers Ottaquechee Regional Commission. All of you are covered by some regional planning commission, no matter where you are, as long as you're from New Hampshire or Vermont, at least. A couple of things. What do regional planning commissions do? We help communities become what they want to be. And so I want to begin this discussion not by talking about zoning, which is what I usually talk about, because, trust me, you don't want to go there right now. But think about the built environment is a choice. We decide where we want buildings to go, what we want them to look like. We may decide that individually, we may decide as a group, but the built environment is a choice. And that's important because it means we're responsible for the choice. The systems in which we make choices is also a choice. And therefore we're responsible for those systems as well. We could give people houses. We don't need to charge them money. We have made a choice that that's how you get houses, that we charge people money for that. But we could choose otherwise. And I want you to remember, everything is up for grabs all of the time. Anytime we want to, we can make up different rules. We have a process, but we can make up different rules for how things are going to go. And I work in the emergency field too, and I want to leave you with that idea, because when you step from the usual day-to-day stuff to the emergency stuff, sometimes people are very comfortable with the rules all changing a lot. Like, we can't do it over here. Oh, now it's an emergency. Now we can do all sorts of things. And, we don't have any money to do stuff over here. Oh, now we have all sorts of money. In the last year, we have spent more money on Ukraine than the entire federal government spent for the entire nation for the last decade constructing affordable housing. We made a choice. We didn't seem to have any money handy, and then all of a sudden we had a bunch of money handy. So when you hear people say things like, well, we can't do that, what you really are hearing is, we don't want to do that. And that's important, to own those choices of how we make our systems, how we do all of this stuff out there, and what kind of communities we want to be. And trust me, we don't want to be the community that's full of old white folks, right? Because a couple of reasons. Number one, that's not where the nation's heading. That's not what does our economies the best thing we know. Diverse economies perform better. And it is not a long-term strategy, if you know what I mean, right? Okay, so what are we doing next?
Yeah, so...
I'm the town moderator, so you have to be careful. I can just jump into moderating mode.
Super helpful, and I think it's a really wonderful framework. Appreciate Kevin and Kevin's whole organization. And I want to, before we get started introducing folks who've been involved directly in the settlement and welcoming efforts here, I want to thank Megan Osbury, who is Jordan in here? Jordan Dixon Gross. The two folks, Megan with one of her roles at Two Rivers has been just an unbelievable project manager, helping all this to happen. You saw that screen full of partners that have been involved. And just if folks who are in the room who've been involved in getting this thing organized or bringing food or getting people here, can you just raise your hands quickly? I mean, there's dozens of people involved, and we owe a huge thank you to all of them. So Megan, thank you very much. Standing in the dark over there, but I hope you can see her. All right, what I would love to do now is to introduce a couple of handfuls of folks who've been involved in a variety of different ways in settlement here and welcoming here in the Upper Valley. The different areas, the different things that we're involved with are housing. And what I was curious about is are there any folks here who are currently hosting or have been hosting refugees living in their homes? Leif, are you still here? Yeah. Would you come on up here? And we can pull a couple of seats up if that would be helpful. I want you to have a chance to see folks. Mylena, are you here? I'm sorry. I mean, just cannot see. I know. Mylena, would you come up as well? One of the things we've talked about is settlement through welcoming through our organizations, and there also are private sponsorships, individuals who have helped to welcome people. And Mylena, I'm going to introduce yourself briefly, just who you are, Mylena.
Mylena, hi.
Mylena is a friend of ours who is here and has brought members of her family here and has helped with her own family and friends, but also other newcomers in the area. So that's what I wanted to
that's what you wanted me to say.
Introduce yourself.
Yes, and I was also, I came to the United States being about 15 years now, so I was in Massachusetts first for 10 years. I was one of those who did not speak English at first when it arrived, so just really happy now to extend that to others. Cuba.
So we're going to do sort of some quick rounds of introduction like this, so you have eyes on people and you'll have an opportunity to meet them and speak with them later. Leif, you want to tell a little bit about your situation?
Yeah, I'm Leif Lewite. I'm from Thetford, and back around end of January, I brought a family of 4 from Ukraine, and they've been living with us for 4.5 months now in my house in Thetford. The little girl's been attending the elementary school, absolutely loving it. The family's getting family is getting itself established, and they're actually getting ready to moved to Chicago, having sort of gotten their legs under them here in the States, earned a little money, gotten a car, and they're going to move off to Chicago and start their next chapter. So that's what's...
That's great. I'd love to introduce Dave Briggs, who many of you have seen in this space maybe once or twice before. Dave wears, as always, lots of hats, and as Bill mentioned when he introduced this, lots of us do. Dave, I did not know him well until the fall of, or in the spring of 22, actually. But Dave has been involved both as a landlord, providing really important affordable housing, and also as an employer. Do you want to?
Hi, I'm Dave Briggs. I'm an old white guy. And I've been so fortunate as an employer to be involved with the efforts, but touched and troubled, challenged, and concerned. So I'm happy to be here, and if I can add anything to the discussion, I'm happy to do that too.
Thanks. Helene, would you like to come here? And Joy, are you here? Didn't see. There you are. Okay, Joy, do you want to come up and say hi? These are two people who are leading English language programs. I'll let you guys introduce yourselves briefly.
I'll say I'm Joy Gain. I work at Vermont Adult Learning. We're here in White River Junction, and we're funded to, most of what we do, I think people know us to help people get a high school diploma or a GED, but we also do English language learning. And unfortunately, you have to be a resident of Vermont, 16 and older, and we're always looking for volunteers. So seek me out if you're interested, and I have some information in the hallway. Thanks.
Great. Hi, everybody. We're Bill and Helene Miles, and we have been honored to be helping with the effort. Thank you so much, Martha, for getting us involved on Thursday nights on campus. So it's a open English, a little bit of Rossius drill, a lot of talking, and anybody is welcome to come by if you're interested in helping. We're in Blunt in the Alumni Center, Thursday. Right now it's Thursday evenings at 7, and come eat, come laugh, and have a good time. I'm all done.
I have 2 microphones.
Before, you can stay. No, he could stay. That's great. No, I just wanted to quickly mention, Bill has also been helpful with the English language program, but I know there are a number of other folks, here today that have been helping teaching English, and I wanted to just see hands of folks who have been also helping teaching English. Do you want to raise your hands? I can see you and you're not raising your hands, but there's several people here. Thank you. Someone give us some guidance. Trained performers, we're obviously not doing quite the thing. Yeah, sorry. Bill, you can stay up here. The intention was to be able to be here. It's not being here that's making this microphone go wild. I know that. So English language learning, you saw there are a few hands raised. We really can use folks involved in English language learning, and we can use folks who are experienced teachers and people who just really would like to help folks advance their English, and that can be done in lots of different ways. I'm having you guys stay here in case there are any specific questions that come up. So I want to transition from English. We talked a little bit about housing or different ways of hosting people here. English to general volunteerism, or specifically transportation. What would you like to talk about? You can introduce yourself.
Yeah, what I want to talk about was kids. I've got a Ukraine boy who has just turned 7 years old, whose mother is over there, who's I've involved in the Lebanon outdoor soccer fields right by CCBA. So if any of you have got refugees who've got kids from age 4 to 17, track me down, and we can talk about that. The other thing I wonder, David mentioned, somebody else mentioned, there's a lot of old white guys around here. I'm just wondering about involving high school kids, more, and maybe that's already happening. And then you wanted me to say?
Well, it's Sophia too, so we have.
Yeah, and Sophia, whose mother is also here, also Ukrainian, Nina is over there. We've involved in martial arts with a guy named Kevin Como who works at Open Door here in White River Junction. And he's happy to work with kids who want to be involved in various martial arts. But there are a lot of people like that if we look around for athletic, musical, etc., things to do for the kids.
Thank you very much. And Bill is one of many many volunteers who have done so many different things. You're talking about this deep passion of yours of connecting folks with sports. He also has done tons of driving and providing snacks for English classes and serving as a driller in English classes. And there's a huge array of share volunteers here that I would love to have. Can you all just stand up? I have been fortunate just to sort of become part of this team in the last several months. Yep, you, the one who leads it, you can stand up. A lot of and share volunteers and people who are not, maybe you don't recognize that you're share volunteers because you're still sitting down, but these are really important pieces of the puzzle. And Nick, I was hoping, would you mind coming up here? Nick has been Nick Krems, and I'm singling out a few folks that, because of the range of different ways that they've been involved as volunteers. And Nick is helping one of the ways that share and community-based settlement organizations do the work is through support teams around families. And Nick has been a central part of that for a couple of families. So I just want, Nick, if you could.
Well, I'm
say
Nick.
Hi.
Well, I've worked with 3 different family groups and support teams, and it takes a community. It takes several volunteers who spend a lot of time and get to know each other and talk to each other, and do what it takes to welcome people and introduce them to society, our culture. Driving's been mentioned. Trying to find housing, cleaning the house, packing up goods, moving it. It's involvement with people. This whole film here, recognizing people as equal to me and you, and walking into this country and helping them get a leg up. That's what it's all about to me.
Well, and every day I learn something from watching Nick in the approach that he's taking, and that's true of a number of others of you who are involved as well. One of the things we have, you saw them in the beginning, they talking about healthcare and how tricky that is. That is tricky here too, as we all of us know. It's tricky to get appointments. This is sort of different than it was even in 5 or 6 years ago. It's really hard for us to get care in the system. So it's particularly hard with brand new folks getting care in the system. And we have been able to help advance that cause, make sure everybody gets the care that they need through lots of volunteerism, lots of attention that is being paid by the medical centers, lots to do with a lot of people pushing and asking and advocating. But one person I was hoping to introduce, Amaka, are you still here? I can't see. Oh, there's Amaka. I wanted to introduce Amaka Okori. Do you want to tell a little about what you've been doing?
Hi, everyone. My name is Amaka. I'm a 4th-year medical student here at Dartmouth. And I met Martha when she was looking for some volunteers to accompany our newly arrived refugees to their healthcare appointments. And we're working this year to really get the med school involved, because navigating the healthcare system, even if you speak English and you're from America, is really difficult. And it's even more difficult when you have other barriers like newly arrived refugees have. So it's been such a pleasure.
And Amaka has a Schweitzer Fellowship right now, which is one of the ways that she's got some attention around her and energy around her as she tries to pull this together, which is really fantastic. She was able to accompany one of the refugees through a long process of actually having an ear surgery to having his eardrums had been destroyed through a bomb blast about 10 years ago, so he hadn't been able to hear since then. And through a surgery that they were able to get at the medical center, she was able to help make that happen. Navigating the surgery, she didn't do the surgery, but the navigation, the taking care of yourself at home after that, you could imagine the kind of care that she was able to help, along with other folks who were. At the time, he was living at the Hotel Coolidge, and a number of the folks, employees and others at the Hotel Coolidge, also provided this incredible hug that enabled this individual who was, first of all, alone, second of all, not equipped in terms of experience with the healthcare system, and third of all, no English at all. It was a big team effort. Like all of this. One of the last quick things I wanted to mention is drivers and cars. Of course, it's really, really useful to have a car here. And it's particularly useful if you can drive that car. And so one of the things that's really important is folks who are willing to help people learn to drive here. We've had 6 or 7 folks who have gotten their driver's licenses in the last 6 months or so. 7 or 8, and it looks like we've got like four tests next week. About three of them, I think, haven't driven at all before. Our 2 Ukrainian friends here. So some of the folks have driven in other countries. Sometimes they have seen a stoplight before. Very rarely have they seen our signs and construction and all. So everybody takes a certain amount of learning. And if you're interested in driving alongside somebody and helping with that, if you'd let us know, that would be great, because that's an ongoing need. Okay. Who else is there, Bill or anyone there? Are you like, would you please introduce somebody? Am I not introducing somebody that should be able to be up here? Oh, Bees. Beeswood St. Germain.
Hi everyone, my name is Beeswood St. Eugene, originally from Haiti. I work for Listen, so I'm in the realm of social work and come across people from different background and there's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to play our parts, to find a way to do something kind. It could be anything, and people from various places, they interact differently with the kind of kindness and gesture that come their way, and I believe it's a two-way street when you show kindness to other people. So you're not only giving, but you're receiving as much. So I would encourage you folks to engage with these efforts and engage your friends, your family, or if you're part of a community, could be a church, could be a school. Think about ways you can engage people around you in getting involved in these efforts to help people settled in this country and make the country, the space, the area more productive for everyone.
The last few folks that I wanted to introduce, and there are a number of newcomers in the room that we have been so honored to welcome and to have you involved in really important ways in the community right now. And I would, if any of you would like to come say hello, I would love to have you come up here. Abdullah, some of you may have seen, was interviewed in the paper. So here he is in the flesh for folks who saw the very beautiful story that Liz Sarcelli, right? If you just want to say hi quickly.
Hi, my name is Abdullah. I'm from Afghanistan. I'm very happy for these people. Very help. Thank you, community.
Well, that was beautiful and unexpected and impossible a year ago. I will tell you that. That was he's done a lot of work in a number of places with his English. Do you want to say hi, you guys, or no? No? Okay. We have some more shy people here who will be here if you go outside and have a chance to. Do you want to say hi? No? Okay. Oh, do you want to just say a quick hello? You okay? Yeah. Gina, why don't you say a quick hi?
Wait a minute. So I'm Gina, and I'm here with Yuli, and Kathy Beckett has been one of the main supporters of Yuli and her family from Indonesia. And Kathy wasn't able to be here, so she wrote a little introduction about Yuli. And so here it is. Yuli has been a valued volunteer in a number of local entities involving programs for young children, including Toddlers Morning Out, the Mount Lebanon School, and Waypoint, an agency that provides family-centered services. In each of these programs, it became clear that kids love her. You might say she is a kid magnet. Yuli is now a valued employee in a local dentist's office. The Lebanon Library Board of Trustees recently asked Yuli to join the board, due in part to her frequent use of the library with her now 4-year-old daughter. A young mother, she will be a valued member, particularly as the board considers library program offerings for the Upper Valley kids and their parents. Lastly, I am proud and happy that Yuli and her family are in my life.
Here. That is beautiful. And that took a teeny bit of work for the Board of Trustees to consider that, and I'm so delighted that you're doing that, Uni. Uni, are you here? Come say hi. Just say.
No problem for Uni.
It's good to see these folks because. They are really helpful as, so many volunteer efforts. They're also just helping out in the community in so many different ways. Do you want to say hi?
Hi everyone. My name is Yuni. I am from Cuba. Wow, it's very exciting for me to stay here, and I'm very grateful for stay here in this place, and very grateful for every one person help me. Thank you so much. Okay, thank you.
And part of the reason that I'm making sure that you see some of these folks is that they're in different stages of being employable. But we can help to connect with them. In some cases, you can connect with directly when they will be able to be employable, when they get through their full set of paperwork so that they're able to be employable. So with those quick sets of introductions, does anybody have a question or two? I wanted to make sure you had eyes on folks so you'd know who to sort of chat with or ask questions about. Any questions that folks would have, and we'll just run a mic up to you fast. Any questions at all? Of course, I can't see if anyone's actually going to raise their hand. Who do we talk to if we want to get involved? You can talk to any of the people who raised their hands earlier as members of SHARE, and I'm Martha Tecca, Bill Plug, who you saw, Nick Krems, Gina Sonne. I'm like any number of folks who you can get involved with. And outside, you may have already seen, there are, and Gina's actually going to hang around for a little bit if anyone would like to have a quick conversation. There are these blue forms like this. And there's, what they do, they let you give your name and all, but they also, there's a whole list of different ways you can help. It looks a little overwhelming, but you can use it as a sort of discernment tool. When you look at it and you figure out, what ways can you help? I think the first time I looked through it, I was like checking all the things, and then you're like, but what is it that's really gonna bring me the most joy to get involved with somebody? And so I encourage you to take a look. There also are, out there on your way out, there's some pretty blank sheets with some of the key things we're looking for right now. One of the things that's absolutely critically important to us is to have people who can do some coordination, because one of the things we find after every time we reach out for help, we get kind of just a huge outpouring of interest. And then we have to amass the time that it takes to have those conversations with each of you. So, which is an awesome thing to have those conversations, but they do take time, and then it takes some coordination. And so folks who have any interest in managing projects, coordinating people, those sorts of things are really one of the biggest things we need. And if you just are like, I can do a drive, if I happen to be free, we can use that too. And sometimes we have outreach for things that we need, and we'll do those in a targeted way. So there's just all kinds of ways to be involved. That include, when we talked about English, one of the best ways for these guys to learn English, these guys and gals, is just in conversation. So if you feel like more of a neighbor than a volunteer, and you want to just invite a few folks over to your house, that's a beautiful thing too. So lots and lots of ways to get involved. And I encourage you to take a look at this. There are outside, there's some posters with QR codes that say volunteer. And I think if you saw the other thing to show you, one of these yellow, brand new yellow flyers, there are a couple of hashtags on there of where you can get involved as a volunteer, and where you can donate, because unlike Utica, we're not able to employ people doing those things, and the money that we use to support is almost entirely from donations. We don't have any government funding or even targeted grant funding. We have generous community sponsors. So both, that'd be all very helpful. I want to, sorry, I can't see this.
I have a question about the Thursday night English stuff you do at Dartmouth. Could you fill us in? That's okay.
Can everybody hear me? No. My father always used to say you could hear me in Manhattan without the mic. So it's reinforcement for a lot of the other classes that happen during the week. So there are classes out of Lebanon for through the SAU, right? Mm-hmm. And so we've been loosely, but getting better at coordinating with the grammar points that they're doing, and then putting that into the work that we're doing. So there was a whole, for just as an example, there was a whole unit that she did on shopping. So I ran around the co-op and took a bunch of pictures, and then we pretended we were at the co-op for 3 weeks in a row, just depending on the level of the people, using different verb tenses and different kinds of activities. So I organize it, and we literally laugh a lot, no? Yeah, and so it's just happy reinforcement for what's, not just, it's important, but reinforcement for what's going on.
So what time?
7 o'clock for right now. We might be changing the time, but 7 o'clock in the Alumni Center, that strange architectural juxtaposition of very modern and historic, so blunt Alumni Center. It's white. It's across from Baker on one side and next to the main administration building, Parkhurst, on the other. So, but I can give you the exact address. And on the second floor. But come find me and I'll give you better details. I'm going to give this to Martha now because I'm talking too much.
No, you're not talking too much. I just want to say, if we have a little heads up of who's coming, people can wander in, and you said just wander in, but it's actually useful.
They know us now.
Yeah, exactly. It's useful to know in advance. So
Just find me after.
it's 7 o'clock on Thursdays is what it has been, but we're also in the process of making sure we're evolving it as folks' schedules evolve a little bit.
And it's a couple levels. We've got some that are fairly decent speaking English. We've got some that are brand new, and we can deal with that.
Yeah, so it's also been just a beautiful social occasion, which I should say is also true of the classes. I think everyone loved the classes. You guys are taking classes with Glenna, and I know the classes that you guys offer. They're all quite lovely social occasions. So do you have individuals who might be interested? Is that what you're just trying to find out what's going on? Thanks. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Well, my name is Robert Abreu, so I'm new in the community like 8 months ago. Half of my family are immigrants, like they don't have papers, they're working on it, including my wife. So more the question, I want to say thank you, because it's kind of like answer for praise the last month. We moved in here 8 months ago, and I was one step the last month to moving again south, because we feel alone. We were like, oh my God, there's no Spanish people around. It's no, with all respect, all we say is like, oh, it's a lot of white people, but there's not a lot of brown people here. and see this program is really good, and I feel like everyone who's doing this is amazing. I got invited by somebody who's saving me in one tough moment, Maria. Sorry, my English is going crazy. So I speak Spanish, and I will say I halfway English. I'm Venezuelan. So I'm open to anything. So I don't know who I have to talk with, but I'm teaching in theater, and I do art, and I do photography professionally. So anything you guys need it. And I do social media, so whatever I can help to raise funds. I think I have like 1 million followers, so I'll be there. So thank you.
Thank you. We would love to, we will be in touch. Yeah, make sure you don't leave here without make sure we have your name and your contact information. Really, there's a wide range of things folks can do. Any other thoughts? Anybody? Okay. I want to say one more thing, and that is that please make sure that if you're interested at all, before you leave, that I think Megan and team did a fabulous job as you're walking in, making sure that you got your names and contact information down there, email if possible. We're going to have a follow-up meeting on Monday, June 26th at 7:30. It's going to be a Zoom call, which is just a volunteer welcoming call. It'll be an opportunity for folks to ask more specific questions after hopefully you've had a chance to sort of look at what the opportunities are and just to learn a little bit more about SHARE. Yes?
When can this be on public television?
Yeah, this is not our thing. Maybe Megan knows a little bit more about this. The folks who have produced this they're making it available. They're doing it in Randolph next. Is that right? The question is how you were talking about the film. Yeah, the film.
The film, I think you need to essentially. I'll project. It's fine. I'm scared of the microphone. Okay. I believe you can rent the film, but I can just ask the director. We're going to do this again in Randolph on Tuesday, July 18th. And if that's too out of the way, stay tuned for more info.
Why not try to be on public television?
I just don't have the information for that. Right. So it's not like a free film. We have a licensing and screening agreement and whatnot. But I can ask the director about getting it out there further and report back. No.
Okay. Thank you guys for standing up here and being ready to answer questions if there were any. Thank you all for coming, and we hope to see you again very, very soon on the street and involved with newcomers. Oh.